Are we starting on 30? Okay.
Did you give the changes then?
Good afternoon and welcome to St Lomans in Mullingar and Westmeath for the 2021 TG4 All-Ireland Senior Football Championship game between Tyrone and Waterford. You don't need me to tell you how warm it is, so I won't start going on about the heat, but I will tell you about the changes so far to Tyrone because they have made 6 changes. Waterford have no changes, but Tyrone have 6, so that is a lot, obviously. Just before that, actually, I'll tell you that Armagh are leading Mayo 3-11 to 9 points. So Armagh going really well in that game. And elsewhere, Antrim are leading against Limerick. Limerick were trying to stage a comeback, but Antrim killed that off, I think, with another goal. It's Antrim 4-8, Limerick 2-5. Those are the games elsewhere. But those changes here. Tyrone against Waterford, and they have made a change in goals. Maeve Maxwell, as you see there, 16. Well, I say a change. She came in the last day, and she's basically kept her place, although they did name Laura Kane as number 1, but it's Maeve Maxwell. The last day, by the way, against Dublin, she made her debut in goals, her first time in goals with about 5 minutes notice, and didn't she do well? Imagine doing that against the All-Ireland champions. What a task that was, but she performed well. So she's stepping in there today, so no worries there for Tyrone, I would imagine, with that. Number 2 was to be Megan Kerr, but it's actually now Joanne Barrett, wearing 17, who has come in there, and she's from the Drumrad club. And Tori McLaughlin, fullback and captain. Then you've Christiane Hunter has come in at left cornerback for Emma Mulgrew. A few hamstring victims on Wednesday night at training, and they already had a couple as well. So Tyrone, a little bit of the walking wounded, you would imagine, but of course strong panels these days, so I'm sure these girls will come in and do a good job. At number 27 is Jane Lyons, and she comes in for Emma Brennan, who would have been playing at right half-back, number 5. And the rest there, 6, 7, 8 and 9 are as selected. Moving on to the forwards for Tyrone. Another few changes here. Regan Fay, number 28, is in place of Nicola Rafferty, who would have been playing at number 11. Now, Regan won't play there. She'll play in the right corner, and Niamh O'Neill will move into the centre half forward position. But we'll talk tactics later, but personnel-wise, there is another change at left half forward because Niamh McGurr is out. Now, that's a blow. 2019 All-Star nominee. She is out, another hamstring victim, and replaced, though, by Niamh Woods, number 23. And you don't need me to tell you how good she is, an All-Star winner 10 years apart in 2008 and 2018 now. I would imagine she will not play left half forward. She might drop into the centre half forward area or even into midfield, but we'll pick that up as the game goes on. So a lot of changes there for Tyrone. 6 in all, I make it. And we'll move on to the Waterford team. That's the Waterford forwards. We'll go back and get the Waterford defence for you. Waterford have actually no changes, so you have nothing to worry about there. It's all as, or at least that's what they're telling us. So we'll wait and see when the game starts. But we're told it's 1-15, and there are no problems there for Waterford. So as selected for Waterford, the captain for Waterford, of course, is Mairead Wall at number 5, and Aileen Wall at 15. Is a sister of Mairead, and then you have the 3 Murrays there, 9, 12 and 14, and Roisin Tobin there at number 10, and so yeah, they've, shall we say, a more settled team going into this game. So that's the scene set here at St Lomans. Last time I was here watching Tyrone against Clare a few years ago, the heavens opened throughout the entire game. There was a double header, and there was even a doubt whether it would be played. So we have the opposite experience today. Waterford going through their pre-match drills out there, and they've been quite clever about going in and staying under the shade as well to try and conserve energy in these conditions. I was incidentally doing a few games during the week in the Ulster Ladies Minor and Under 16s where they had 2 water breaks in each half, and in these conditions I'm sure the players would love that. Now, as I say, tactically, it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the Tyrone lineup, what way they play, because against Tyrone, or against Dublin rather, they went very defensive in the first half, hit them on the break, and it worked against the All-Ireland senior champions for 20, maybe 25 minutes even. So they might be tempted to do that again. If they do that, you'd imagine that Niamh Woods will drop from left half back into the defence, and she might even get a little bit of support from a few more of the forwards. And then they'll leave the likes of Niamh O'Neill, Chloe McCaffrey up front, and they can do the damage. And Chloe did that very well against Dublin with a goal on a point, and Niamh O'Neill scored 9 points against Dublin that day. So we'll wait to see if they mirror those tactics today. There's a breeze actually out on the pitch there. You mightn't realise, you mightn't expect, because of the hot weather, but it's actually going across the pitch. If you imagine going across from where the cameras are, where we're pointing at the minute, stiff little breeze going across the pitch, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. You'd expect then most of the play might be over on the far side from here. To put this in context, today it's the TG4 All-Ireland Senior Championship, of course, and the winners will go through to an All-Ireland quarter-final against Cork. The loser will go into a relegation battle. So all to play for a place in the last 8 of the championship. And Tyrone, as you've probably noticed, wearing red. Port Larga there in their familiar white. So Tyrone have changed jerseys. They are in red with white trimming as opposed to white with red trimming. Both teams lost to Dublin previously in this group. Tyrone lost by 2-18 to 111. Waterford lost last week 6-12 to 110. So you could say on that Tyrone fared better, but none of that matters today. The referee, John Devlin from Galway, places the ball in what would be in soccer terms the centre spot and gets ready for the start. The Waterford subs coming off. And the Tyrone players still out there in the middle having a last few words, and I imagine that will be to do with the fact that, girls, this is your big chance today. I'm just going to check for you if there are any other latest scores before we get underway here. Just in the foreground of the shot there you see Kevin McChrystal, the Tyrone manager, making his way, there he is, to the sideline. Yeah, it's now Armagh 314, Mayo 11 points. Amy Mackin, it says here, goes one better with a stunning effort. Well, is there anything else apart from stunning efforts when Amy Mackin does it? The Tyrone management, Kevin McChrystal, and he has Damien McCaffrey with him, and Shane McCarney, Damien Corrigan, whole team there, of course. And Waterford have Kieran Curran, he's the manager from Dungarvan. And he has Michael McLaughlin, Frank Ryan, Mags McCarthy, Ralph Britton, and Amy Maguire all in there. So, John Devlin shoos the players away from the centre area. He's going to throw it up in the middle, and we will keep an eye on any late changes for you and see if there's any Waterford switches, positional or personnel. And we're off. 2021 TG4 All-Ireland Senior Championship game between Tyrone and Waterford, and immediately it's Tyrone trying to go on the attack, and you saw a 28 out there in the middle, and now there's a 27. If you're only just joining us, 6 changes for Tyrone, and that's why you have a lot of girls out there with big numbers. So 28 is Regan Fay from the Airua club in Dungannon, 27 is Jane Lyons from Berra, Niamh Woods is in there as well. So 6 changes for Tyrone. It'll be interesting to see if that disrupts their play. They did very well the last day against Dublin for a good 20-25 minutes, and today we're going to keep an eye as well to see if they play a defensive style as well. The goalkeeper is Maeve Maxwell. She keeps her place after the Dublin game, even though she wasn't named in the official team, but she does play again today. Second game in goals for Tyrone. So very muted here in Mullingar. Obviously not a huge crowd, and they're all taking it easy in the sun. Over on that far side you can see a few spectators who have come to the game. socially distancing, of course, and it's Waterford's on their first attack, and that's Katie Murray with a strong run towards goal. And the Tyrone defence try to block her out, but they do so illegally. And I think the referee has given a free in there, and you would imagine that Chloe Fennell will just pop that over. The last day, Maria Delahunty came on and scored 7 points against Dublin, including 6 frees, but she's still in the subs, so it's going to be Fennell. Chloe Fennell from Stradbally. This shouldn't be a problem. And it isn't. It's always very difficult when it's so hot, because you can see that the players are struggling a little bit to get used to the atmosphere and the intensity of the game, and they can't breathe, never mind shout. But here comes Waterford now. This looks threatening. They're going through the middle again for the second time in the first few minutes, and the kick from distance looks like it's going to the left and wide, and it is. But Waterford getting the ball and going straight at Tyrone. That's the tactic there early on, and it's paid off once and nearly twice. Now Maxwell, goalkeeper from Edendorf, but that goes straight to Waterford, and Emma Murray is there again, and Aileen Wall is there, and number 13 is Fennell, but that goes tamely wide. So Tyrone having a little bit of bother there getting out. To see Niamh Woods is sitting in there as we expected around the centre half back position, and 14 is back there as well. That's Grania Rafferty. So I'm looking further up the pitch off camera, and I see one Waterford sweeper way down to the right. So Tyrone are letting that sweeper sit in there, and they're dropping players back and trying to hit Waterford on the break, I think similar to what they did against Dublin, and why not, because it worked for quite a while. This is good work through the hands by Tyrone. Dervla Gallagher involved there a couple of times, and Grania Rafferty, and number 3 is up there, Tori McLaughlin, the captain, all the way up there. Now 28 is Regan Fay, and she came on the last day, and the referee has penalised Tyrone before they got their shot away, and that will be a free for Waterford. Tyrone's first attack comes to nothing.
Super Laura.
And off camera again, I'm looking to see what's happening tactically, and I can see Grania Rafferty, number 14 for Tyrone, and she is dropping slowly back into the half-back line. Niamh Woods is there as well, so they're playing 2 sweepers, Tyrone, and I can also see Jane Lyons dropping in there, and that's maybe 3, so they're definitely trying to form a defensive wall there, a blanket defence if you like. But Waterford are very sharp, and 10 is Roisin Tobin, and now they've broken through the defence, and it could be a chance of a point here, and it's cleverly and sensibly fisted over the bar. Second point of the game for Waterford, and it's another of the Murrays. It's Aoife Murray this time, one of the triplets on the Waterford team. So 2 points to no score for Waterford early on in this game. Good start for them. McLaughlin, the Tyrone captain, doesn't just sit in defence, she gives and goes. That high ball was intended for Gervin, but it's been intercepted, and it's just rolled over the sideline. Tyrone expect the decision, but they don't get it. Kate McGrath takes it quickly. Aisling Milani gets it to another McGrath, Karen McGrath. This is good work by Rebecca Casey, but then it's intercepted. That's Niamh Hughes in there. Niamh Hughes leaves it off to Faye. This is better from Tyrone, but look at all the white shirts that are back there already, and Chloe McCaffrey is having to do it all herself and runs at the defenders and is tripped accidentally, but it's still a trip, so that'll be a free for Tyrone, and this will be an opportunity for Niamh O'Neill to swing it over with her left foot, and we are right behind this. The camera position will be absolutely perfect on this one. I saw her score a lot against Dublin, but it was usually from the far side, and it really is something to behold. I've built it up now, I hope she gets it. Niamh O'Neill with the left foot. Yeah, she doesn't miss. 9 points against Dublin. That's her first today, and it's Tyrone's first as well for the girl from the Sperrin Og Club. Rosie Landers, the goalkeeper for Waterford.
Jump in.
And there were 3 Waterford players over there. They got it eventually, but it looked like McHugh was going to steal it, but she didn't. That kick is going to go over the end line. Niamh Woods just polices it along the sideline and lets it go out. She has the sleeves rolled up. Caitlin Kelly. Tyrone Town to inject a little bit of pace and come forward with McLaughlin to Aoibhinn McHugh. McLaughlin again. Emma Jane Gervin is 9. Little burst of pace takes her away from Murray. She'll get support from McCaffrey. McCaffrey, Waterford will know as soon as she gets on that left foot, it usually goes over the bar, and she sped there through 2 or 3 tackles and drew a foul, and the referee taking a tick as well there for the Waterford defender. It's a free for Tyrone. Quite a distance out. I'm not going to say McCaffrey won't make it, but quite a distance out. Actually, it's O'Neill, of course, going to take it. It was McCaffrey on the run. Just inside the 45. Will she level it? Plenty of height. I think it has the distance, yes. And it drops over the bar as well. What a player to have on your team to take frees like that and punish any fouls inside the 45. That's McCaffrey again, and it's 2 points apiece. Short kick out to Laura Mulcahy. So Waterford thinking better of the long kick-outs. Going short, get the possession and get up the field. Maria Wall, the captain. Roisin Tobin. And that's Wall again involved to her sister Aileen from the Bala McCarberry club. And that's Niamh Woods defending in there and winning the free as well. She held her position and got the free, and she's now looking to take it, but not in any mad rush, just slowing things down sensibly. That's Caitlin Kelly, number 6. Comes back to Niamh Hughes. The run is from Gallagher, just inside her, speeding off, and Gallagher now looks to get it, but that's too intricate, and Waterford intercept through Tobin. And now they break. Rebecca Casey, number 4, is there. This is good work through the hands by them. That's Kate McGrath, 11. This is Kate McGrath now, actually 11. She goes onto her right foot and shoots to the left and wide, and they make it 3 wides now for Waterford, 2 in the first couple of minutes, and they might rue those misses, but the referee is going to bring it back, I think, for a free for Waterford. But Waterford breaking really quickly there when they managed to turn over Tyrone and running at the Tyrone defence. So that's really the intriguing battle here today. It's the speedy Waterford forwards against the Tyrone blanket defence, if you can call it that. John Devlin waiting for the ball to be retrieved. So 2 points all. Emer Fennell takes this one. Plenty of height, and it just drops over as well. Nicely taken. 3 points to 2. Waterford back in front. It's full time, by the way, in the Armagh Mayo game, and Armagh have won it 3-14 to 12 points, which means that Armagh will play Meath in the quarterfinals. What a game that will be. While Mayo will meet Galway. What a game that will be as well. And there's also a full time in the junior championship, and Antrim have beaten Limerick, so huge win for Antrim, 5-10 to 2-7. Well done to Antrim there. Back with this game, and Waterford not letting Tyrone out from the kick out. Kate McGrath gets it back to Chloe Fennell, and that's Maria Wall giving it to Rebecca Casey, who spreads the play over to the far side to, I think that's Tobin, and now she's on the kick after getting it back, but that just drops into the arms of, is it, trying to see who it is in there. There's been so many changes. It might have been Hunter, I'm not sure, but it's a Tyrone ball anyway, and now it's cheaply given away, I think, is the freest possession back to Tyrone. Sideline ball for Tyrone, taken by Gervin. She was nudged over the sideline. John Devlin comes over to clarify, and Gervin will come back to take it. Emma Jane from the Area Club gives it to her captain. Gets it back. McHugh is there, but she takes a different option. She goes to Gallagher. Gallagher, speedy player, feeds it into the forwards. This is lovely play from Tyrone. It's Megan Fay now. Will she go for a score? She comes back to Gallagher, who started it all, and is still there. And now it's Gervin, actually, who started it even before that, and they draw a free as well. So Tyrone on the attack, looking impressive as well, running at the Waterford defence and drawing frees, and that has been the pattern so far. And this should be an equaliser for Chloe McCaffrey from the St Macartans club, or rather Niamh O'Neill. I keep going picking the 15 for the 13. Niamh O'Neill, of course, and that's another point for her. And Tyrone 3 points from frees. 12 minutes gone. And we expected it to be close, but hold on, there might be a chance of a goal here. It's Niamh O'Neill. She gets in and fires it on her left foot, and that's Tyrone's first score from play. For a moment there, I think Tyrone would have been thinking a goal was on, because she was quick to intercept the short kick out and fired it over, and that's 4 points for O'Neill, and it's the O'Neill county in front for the first time in the game. This time the goalkeeper goes longer, but it looks like Faye's going to get there first for Tyrone. In fact, she just lets it go out. So Waterford having a bit of bother in their kickouts, and Tyrone getting a little bit of a grip in the game now. They're enjoying this now. Dervla Gallagher from the Trillick club, and Trillick have quite a few players, well, they had in the starting team that was named. A few injuries have put paid to that. Put a clash in there with 3 players in there, and the referee holds it up to make sure everybody is okay. And that's Aisling Milani, number 7, who has remained down. The other 2 players have got up. And this is the point where you'll see all around the pitch, if we go to a wide camera, you'll see that everybody's trying to get a bit of water on board. It's like an unofficial water break. And you can't blame the players for that in this heat. Waterford management having a few words on the sideline about what they can do to change things. It's certainly an intriguing battle, and one of those ones that clearly hasn't caught fire yet. Slow pace due to the heat, and also the teams cancelling each other out, and the early stages of the game. Free for Tyrone, taken quickly. The captain McLaughlin there gets it back to McCaffrey, and she fires right footed, and that just goes to the left and wide. But so much at stake as well for these teams, and it's interesting to see Niamh O'Neill step up on the kicker, just out of shot there. You're looking at the kicker, but out of shot. We'll see where it goes. The kick goes accurately to Karen McGrath, number 6. But it was interesting, as I say, just off camera, Niamh O'Neill was pressing up just to try and make sure she didn't go short, forcing her to go long, and she did, and it was successful, and that means Waterford are now on the attack. Emma Murray from Cumra Rangers. We've seen her go forward like this so many times in the championship and for club and for college, and she looked like she was going to get all the way through, and the referee has brought her back, but she looks a little bit disappointed there because she had goal on her mind, but it's been brought back by referee John Devlin, and they'll not be too disappointed because they will still have a free that's probably within kicking distance. We've used a few different free takers already. This is Chloe Fennell. Emer Fennell took one earlier on. Fennell's from different clubs, just in case you're wondering. Chloe's from Stradbally, and Emer is from Abbeyside. She scored a goal and 2 points against Dublin last week. This kick just has the legs, it goes over the bar, and we're level again, and it really is tit for tat, and it really is like a game of chess here, and as I say, not too much excitement about it because teams are just sussing each other out, and it'll come down and go down to the wire. Good kick out by Maeve Maxwell there to find Gallagher, and good running off the shoulder from Grania Rafferty, and better again from Faye. This is great play by Tyrone. This is the way they like to play it, and they move it through the hands, and then a nice kick pass as well, and it's just been intercepted there at the last minute by the Waterford defence. Tyrone looked threatening. Now it's Waterford's turn. Maybe the temperature is starting to rise here, and I'm not just talking about the weather. Oh, great interception there by 17 for Tyrone. That's Joanne Barrett from the Drumragh club, same as Niamh Woods. That's great work by her to intercept that, to turn it over, and that means that Tyrone are now on the attack again, and it's Niamh O'Neill again, but she's been well blocked there by number 6 Karen McGrath, player of the match in the 2016 All-Ireland final, and she's still a key player for Waterford, and great work there. They know the threat posed by Niamh O'Neill and Chloe McCaffrey in particular, and they were alive to that, but it is a 45 for Tyrone. Caitlin Kelly is strolling over to take it, not in any great hurry. Tests the wind, and from my experience out there before the game, it's going across field towards Caitlin, but not really significant. Not quite sure what the signal means, but maybe the Tyrone forwards know. Caitlin comes up, right-footed, good height on it, and that's going to drop right into the square. And it was begging for a Tyrone player to get a fist on it, but it was just inside the square, and it was really well defended by Waterford. And now they break with Chloe Fennell. Support from Murray, her midfield partner. And they may try to come all the way over to the left. There's play here, players over here, but instead they go through the middle again, and it's Murray loving to go through the middle every time, but there's so many red shirts there, it is very difficult. Aileen Wall now, she doesn't need much room. That's a lovely ball actually to Kate McGrath, and she shoots over the bar, and that is Waterford's best score of the game, and you just sense it's starting to open up a little bit as we get to the first water break. Good play there as we see it again by Kate McGrath from Kilrasanty Rangers, and that time they did slice through Tyrone. Good point, and that makes it 5-4. So Waterford sneaking into the lead again, but no team really dominating. And you see there the cooler, the water cool box has been opened up, and the water being given out to the players. And this day more than any other day, really, that is required. So a little bit of water on board. Tyrone as well. And I'm not sure the managers will be saying too much at this point, because there's even a spray as well. That's much handier, isn't it? That's a great idea. Waterford being very innovative there. She's enjoying that. Wonder if she could bring it up here. So 19 minutes gone, 5-4. And big prize today for these teams. I'd say the managers are just more or less saying, keep it going. These water breaks supposed to be a minute, but seem to be a little bit longer, but maybe that's because of the weather as well. So maybe the referee has been kind to the players to give them a minute, but it also means that managers get opportunities, as Kevin McChrystal, you see there, is taking advantage of the longer water break to get a few words in. And possibly talking to them about the way they defend. He's putting his arms out there. Maybe he's saying, when Waterford run at you, just put your arms out and let them run into you, but don't let them get past you. But it's easy saying that, but then when Katie Murray comes running at you, and Emma Murray as well, they're hard to stop because they jink one way and then the other. We'll restart with Maeve Maxwell, number 16, but she did start the game, and she played the full game against Dublin a few weeks ago, which has been the very start of her goalkeeping career, but she may have played herself into the position. She had a great game against Dublin, and in fact saved the penalty from Niamh McAvoy. Now, I'm sure Niamh won't mind me saying it wasn't a great penalty, but still she saved it. Waterford turned Tyrone over a little bit easily from the kick out, as they've done quite a few times. Tobin gets it over on the far side to Wall. And this is Fennell, Emer. She's having to come back out because the Tyrone wall is there, keeping them outside the scoring zone, although that looks dangerous. Oh, and I thought for a moment it was in danger of dropping over the goalkeeper and into the net, but it drops over the bar, so she wasn't outside the scoring zone. That was a good point, and very well taken indeed by Emer Fennell. As I said, she scored 1-2 against Dublin. You just see it going over the bar there, and the umpire reaching for his flag. So Waterford have a 2-point lead for the first time since early in the game, so it's up to Tyrone now to see if they can get back in it. There's a nice ball to Faye going cross field. She seems to find a lot of space in this game. Maybe all the changes Tyrone had have thrown Waterford a little bit. They've plenty of defenders back, but this is great work by Niamh O'Neill, weaving inside and finding a little bit of room, but it's all very congested in there, and Tyrone have run into this a few times. What can they do on this occasion? It's Emma Jane Gervin shooting from distance, but to the left and wide. Remains a 2-point game, and Tyrone haven't scored in quite a while. Now you see a good wide shot there off the kick out, so we'll see where this goes. And you see Niamh O'Neill, number 13, and Chloe McCaffrey staying close to make sure there's nothing short. So it goes long, and that is very long. It bounces around the middle of the field. In fact, goes into the Tyrone half. The ground's very hard these days, and sometimes the players misjudge the bounce, and it's Waterford profiting from that. Maybe they should go long more often, because that has turned the game right around, and it's Waterford on the attack with Casey, number 4, gets it to Fennell. Chloe is there, and she faces 3 or 4 red shirts and is holding it up. Gets support from Casey. Definitely not playing in the traditional number 4 left corner back position. She's all over the place, and here she is again.
Go up that channel.
She's also from the Stradbally club. This is Mairead Wall, an All-Star in 2016. She gets it to her sister Aileen, who's been twice an All-Star nominee. That's a bit of a Gary Owen rugby style, but the referee is going to bring it back for a free to Waterford. And Emer Fennell is already making her way over there, so she's taking the ones just slightly further to the right because she kicks off her left foot. 24th minute, and this, if it goes over, would give Waterford the first 3-point lead in the game. And she does. That's the biggest gap between the teams so far. So Tyrone, ever since they got that score from intercepting the quick kick out, have not managed a single score. And have gone 3 down. And Waterford again winning the kick out, winning the Tyrone kick out. This is Aoife Murray to Katie Murray, her sister, to Casey. And Waterford looking good when they go forward, but Emma Murray now involved in having to go back, and they're happy to do so because Karen McGrath is there. Tyrone just sitting in. Casey. We come to this side again to Aoife Murray, to Katie Murray. She goes to Casey again, so it's all Waterford in possession, trying to get close to the goals. Tyrone holding them out. There's a good crossfield ball. Well, it looked better than it was. Karen McGrath, number 6, is all the way up there and gets inside, goes on her right foot and shoots over the bar for a fine point for Waterford. That's great individual play there by McGrath, and that makes it a 4-point lead for the first time in the game. And the referee having a word there with the number 15 for Tyrone, Chloe McCaffrey, who's all the way back there, and she's getting a little word from the referee. I'm not sure what that is about, but and here is a mistake by Tyrone. They've given it to Waterford, and they've given it, and Aileen Wall is in there, and this could be a goal, and it is a goal. It's a goal for Waterford after 26 minutes, and all of a sudden Waterford have put daylight between the teams. It's 1-8-4. Tyrone have had a lot of problems with the kickouts, and Waterford have turned them over again, and Katie Murray was there to shoot low to the net. That could be a crucial score in this crucial game. So Tyrone have gone from a couple of points down to being 7 down. 1-8 plays 4. Now they really do need to do something. McHugh driving from midfield, the girl from Ahiarn, and is blown for over carrying. So Tyrone losing their way a little bit. And Waterford finding spaces in there. That's Fennell doing well and gets it to Megan Dunford. And look at the space here as well, in behind for Aileen Wall and for Murray. Again, the same combination as the goal. Now it's blocked down, but maybe Tyrone are struggling a little bit in the heat. But Waterford, good accurate passing and finding spaces in behind. Tyrone struggling, they're in bother now, and it was this period of the game where they conceded 2 goals against Dublin as well after a good bright start to the game. So they've just lost their way a little bit. It's been a long time since he scored, and Waterford have hit them with a goal. Right, Emma Jane Gervin on the stand side. She goes all the way back to Niamh Woods. And it's Waterford's turn to sit in. Jane Lyons involved. Now it's Chloe McCaffrey. Leaves it off just inside the 45, and that is a dangerous kick from Gervin, but it's not going to reach a Tyrone teammate, and it's going to go harmlessly wide. So Waterford will be very happy with that. Now there's the goalkeeper, and if we go to the wide camera shot, we'll see, there it is, we'll see where she's going with it. I'm always intrigued about, is she going to go short or long, and she goes long, and I think that's going to go over the end, or has it been kept in? It's been kept in actually by McGrath. Everything going for Waterford at the minute. This is Wall. There's a nice ball into Aileen Wall, and Aileen does well scrambling there for possession, and it breaks kindly for Waterford. As I say, when things go for you, they tend to really go for you, and I think that's Fennell with that kick. That looks really high, and the goalkeeper comes out and gets it and does well, but it's coming back yet again for a free. How many times have we seen it come back like that to a Waterford free after the referee has tried to play advantage? Frustrating day for Tyrone. I'm just watching off to my left, off camera, Emma Mulgrew wearing number 4 over in the subs here, unable to play today, but kitted out. So many changes. Tyrone 6 changes before the start, and this is Fennell, and she doesn't miss. 29 minutes gone, and it's now Waterford 1-9, Tyrone 4 points. And that's 8 points of a difference. And we were saying up to about 20 minutes that there was nothing in it. The teams were more or less tit for tat. Well, Waterford have really kicked on after the water break. Casey. And again, they won possession from the Tyrone kick-out, which has happened so often. And the Tyrone forwards have been starved of possession. And Waterford very clever. Now look at the amount of players they've got back. Incredible work by the Waterford players in this heat. And only really Hughes having to carry the ball forward for McHugh. Now support from another of the midfielders, that's Gervin. And now Tyrone getting forward with Faye. And Faye tries to get the ball in behind for McHugh, but the white wall is there. Great defending from Waterford. Now they are penalised, but they did really well to work back there and keep Tyrone at bay. And Tyrone's tactic, similar to the last day, trying to break, but it's not really working today. They've only scored, I think, once from play, and that was from a short kick out that was intercepted. So the Waterford defence really on top there and doing well against Tyrone, who have left 1 or 2 players up. Then they try to run, but it's not really working, you have to say. And it's Waterford 1-9 and Tyrone just to 5 points in 30 minutes of play. Good long kick out again from Landers. Straight up the middle, but Tyrone pounce. Gallagher to Woods, back to Gallagher. This is better from Tyrone, but this is usually where it breaks down. Can they do better this time? No, it's broken down again because McCaffrey has been blocked there by the Waterford defence, and now it's Waterford who'll come away through Murray. So it's all gone for Waterford since the water break. Great play under the stand on the far side there to carry the ball forward, which is tricky in these conditions. It's so hot. But their forwards are dangerous, always. McGrath is 11, and they're trying to work another score here. They might get in behind again. That looks dangerous, but it's actually dropped short from Fennell. And Tyrone are able to clear. Now, will they have time to get up the field and get a score? But Loughlin's certainly trying to do something about it, as is Grania Rafferty, wearing 14 but playing everywhere except full forward. She's supporting the play. That's great work there by Karen McGrath, number 6 for Waterford, and the kick comes in across the goal again from McCaffrey. And how many times have we seen the likes of McCaffrey and O'Neill and Gervin as well, actually, and the shots have gone either wide or dropped short in the last 15 minutes of this game, and that's why Tyrone are sitting on just the 5 points going into the 33rd minute of the first half. Landers with that familiar kicking style, that punt that she does off the front of the foot very accurately, and it sets Waterford off again. Will they get another score before the break? We're in the 33rd minute. They're already well in control in this game, and here's the captain steaming forward. I wonder, can she do something about it? Will she take a point, or will she want better than that? Well, she stalls and kicks it. It's not going to go for goal, not directly anyway, and Tyrone deal with it. And they may break now because a few of the Waterford players have committed to the attack. So McHugh has it for Tyrone in the middle of the field. She's been marshalled by Aoife Murray, who goes down. But Tyrone continue with the play, and that's been intercepted as well. And the Waterford defence so alive and doing so well there through Laura Mulcahy. And now they break, but the referee is going to hold it up because there is a player down, and that is Aoife Murray. And the referee is strolling over, but I can tell you off camera she's getting a bit of treatment and she looks okay. Down to my left I can hear the Tyrone manager shouting at his players. A few instructions. He's not happy obviously with the way things are going. Just to remind you that Armagh beat Mayo earlier on, and Antrim beat Limerick. Here it's Waterford going well, very close to half time. We'll restart with number 11 Kate McGrath for Waterford. She was in possession when the referee stopped the play, and she kicks it strongly towards Aileen Wall, who takes it really well and speeds off, tries to get on her right foot. That's a super effort. Will it drop in? No, I think it's just gone to the right and wide from Aileen Wall, so it may remain 19-5 at the break because the referee has looked at his watch, and Maeve Maxwell may take the last kick of the first half. No, we play on, and the kick has gone to the left, and I fancy Maria Wall will just let that go out because it's going to be a Waterford ball, and it is. Karen McGrath. Waterford's in no rush and in control. Wall to Murray. And another foul there drawn from the Tyrone defence. The referee takes a note of that one as well. These are mounting up. We're now nearly in the 36th minute. And you saw the sign there from the referee. That means that that particular Tyrone player has made 2 fouls and one more like that, and she will be sin-binned. 3 will get you a yellow card. Now the kick is from Emer Fennell outside the scoring zone, I would imagine, but it drops dangerously in there and nearly ended up in the net, but Tyrone were alive to it, and I think the whistle went anyway from the referee, John Devlin. So an intriguing first quarter where the teams really had nothing between them, and then a second quarter where Waterford really kicked on and took control after the water break. And it ends with the half-time score, Waterford 1-9, Tyrone 5 points, and it's hot going out there for the players and for the managers and for the commentators as well. So we are going to take a break, and we will be back with you at the start of the second half. Welcome back to St Lomans in Mullingar. We're nearly ready for the start of the second half. People just making their way across the pitch to the dugouts, and in one of the dugouts I have to mention a Waterford player, Kellyanne Hogan. I saw her on crutches there out on the pitch. She broke her leg unfortunately in a challenge match a few weeks ago, and that's always sad to see for a young player in these conditions. And there she is. Well, her spirits are still pretty good. There's a nice shot of her there. And she's still got a smile on her face and the mask on as well, of course. So Kellyanne Hogan, we wish you the fastest recovery possible. Back with the game, what sort of recovery will Tyrone have, or will Waterford continue where they left off? And that looks like that's what's going to happen here, because Katie Murray has sped off towards the Tyrone goal, but she was held up a little bit there, and now Tyrone have been given the decision. Actually, I thought they had, but no, it's a Waterford decision. The referee sped off in the opposite direction, so I thought he hadn't given it, but I think he dropped his whistle. So a free for Waterford in the first 30-40 seconds of the second half, and it's expertly taken by Emer Fennell, her fourth free converted today, and that's 5 points in all for Emer, and that makes it 110-5. So Tyrone's task even more difficult, and that kick out intercepted brilliantly by Emma Murray, and Waterford are on the hunt again for another score, and McGrath is there. Kate McGrath, is there a goal on right at the start of the half? It's blasted to the net, but the referee blows for over carrying, and Tyrone got off the hook there. Great start to the second half from Waterford. You would imagine the coach would have been telling them, put Tyrone away with a good strong start to the second half. That's a much better kick out though by Maeve Maxwell, and she gets it to Emma Jane Gervin. Maybe it will spark Tyrone into life. Here comes their sorry about that, lost my microphone. I had to cough there, sorry.
Katie's here. Katie's here.
And it is Waterford turning it over. It's a good break by Tyrone, but Waterford are now setting off in search of another score at the other end. And it's Katie Murray again, and she got a goal in the first half. She goes just over the bar this time. I thought she might have a goal in her mind again, but she got a point. And good fast start to the second half by both teams, but it's Waterford adding to their scores. Murray, the full forward, a goal and a point for her, and that's 111-5. Worrying times now for Tyrone. They really need to get a score on the board, and quick. That's Erin McHugh battling for the ball, but needs help, and a free given to Waterford and Aoife Murray, and they take it quickly, and there's lots of room here for Waterford. They're steaming forward. The Murrays are there, Wall is there, and the drive to the net is by Katie Murray, her second goal of the game. And all of a sudden Waterford have gone to 211-5. They have 1 foot in the quarterfinals. You see it again. Emma Murray leaves it off to her sister Katie, and she wasn't going to miss from there. Tyrone sending on a sub, and it is Emma Mulgrew, the number 4, going in. She wasn't able to start the game, but she now goes in, and Tyrone recognising that there are problems there in defence early in the second half. In 27, Jane Lyons is being replaced. Now the kick out from Maxwell, and that's a super kick out. It just had the legs to reach the number 28 for Tyrone. That's Regan Fay. Tyrone desperately needs something, but they're spilling the ball and misplacing tackles, and Waterford waiting to pounce, but they still persist, and that's good work by Tyrone now. And it's Hughes who got it to McHugh, and they've worked it now to Caitlin Kelly, but the Waterford defending is very disciplined, and as they say that, of course there's a free to Tyrone. Great start to the second half for Waterford. They've really put daylight between the teams. 211-5. That's a huge deficit for Tyrone to try and make up. They've actually only had one scorer so far in this game, and that's Niamh O'Neill. Now that's dropping in just short, and the goalkeeper Landers takes it safely. They get it out to Megan Dunford, to McGrath, who got forward and scored a point in the first half, to Casey, to Tubman. Tyrone turn it over and get a free. They'll want to take that quickly. Faye gives it back to O'Neill. Now Niamh Woods looks for a little bit of movement, but it's always hard to get movement when your teammates are struggling because they're losing by so much. It's always different when your team is winning and then everybody wants the ball. But now they're having to pick out their passes and they're afraid to make a mistake, and there is a mistake and the ball will probably go over the end line. No, it's just actually kept in well by Joanne Barrett. Gets it back to Gallagher. Gallagher again on the ball, running forward and penalised for running into Megan Dunford. And Megan is down, and Tyrone just can't get back into this game. They haven't scored for so long. The last score, if you were watching all this game, was from, I think it was a free, or was it a kick out that was intercepted? It was a long time ago, and their management on the sideline must be wondering what can we do in this game, because Waterford are way ahead and Tyrone don't even look like they're going to breach that Waterford defence. They've only scored once, I think, from play in the entire game, and that was from a kick out that was intercepted, so they really haven't created an awful lot. Tug on the jersey, referee lets it go. Brings it back now though for a free for Aisling Mullaney. Good work from her, and Waterford, as I say, when you're winning, the tails are up, everybody wants the ball, and there's a spring in their step. Passes are making it, and even when they don't, they still seem to get possession. Emma Murray. You see, the ball bounces for them, off they go again, and this is Katie Murray again, running from deep, which is what she did for the goal, and she turns one way, then the other, leaves it off to her sister. All three Murrays involved, but in the end, the shot actually comes in from Aileen Wall. She finishes off the great work by the triplets to the back of the net, and that's a third goal for Waterford, and surely that is that. Waterford have at least 1 foot in the quarterfinals. They will play Cork, because they are now that far ahead that it's unlikely to see a Tyrone comeback. Tyrone looking at making a change. One of their players is down in the middle of the field. I can't see who it is. It might be Faye, but I can see off camera that they're getting ready to bring in number 30, Sasha Byrne from Ahiarn. It's tough going just watching this, never mind playing it. Yes, it's number 28, Regan Faye, who is coming off. She got a bit of a knock there in going for a ball. And Byrne is in for Tyrone. Maxwell with the kick out, but look at the Waterford players. They're just gobbling it up really easily and hitting Tyrone immediately with the speedy play going forward. Surely not another goal, but this time the Tyrone defence stand firm, but Waterford looks so threatening every time they go forward. Woods now coming out with the ball for Tyrone. Leaves it off to Midlothian. Midlothian kicks beyond several white shirts that have already got back. Great work rate from Waterford. But it's Byrne now, the sub, who's just come on for Tyrone. They need something special. Can she provide it? She's won a free. We actually see the Tyrone number 1, Laura Kane, stepping forward. So I wonder, are they going to bring Laura on as that kick goes over, or has it gone to the left actually? No, it's gone over the bar. Point for Tyrone by Chloe McCaffrey, I think it was, or was it McGurr? No, I think it was McCaffrey. But it's Tyrone's 6th point of the game. Now I wonder, is Laura Kane going to come on in goals? Well, she's running onto the pitch. I'm not sure whether it's a substitution or maybe she's running to give a pair of gloves to Maeve Maxwell in goals, or maybe Tyrone are thinking that they need to bring Maeve Maxwell out of goals and play her outfield. I'm not sure. We'll keep an eye on that. Way down to the right, And you see the Tyrone player on the sideline. Yeah, and way off camera down to our right, I can tell you that Laura Kane, the number 1 for Tyrone, has taken her place in goals. Tyrone have changed their goalkeeper. They've reverted to the number 1, Laura Kane, and Maeve Maxwell is off the field. So a change in goals there by Tyrone. Tyrone also looking at bringing in 22 Aoife McConnell from Glenelly that you saw in one of the shots there. This is better from Tyrone. That's nice work to get it to Chloe McCaffrey. She'll try to get on her left foot. You might even try to get in for a goal, but there's too many Waterford players there. There's no way through. And the kick in the end comes in from Grania Rafferty, and that's a fine finish by the girl from Killishall. Much better from Tyrone, but still a long, long way behind. Good kick on her right foot, but look at the pressure from the Waterford players. 3 of them there, and 1 of them diving at her feet. About 20 minutes to go. And there's an example of the ball just bouncing for Waterford much easier than it is for Tyrone, or maybe you just imagine that when you're so far ahead, but this is good play by Waterford to get forward, causing Tyrone so many troubles when they run at them, because they move it so quick, they support each other really well, and then they try to take scores. Wonder, is that one gone over? No, it's actually gone to the right, and it's gone wide, so it remains 3-11 to 7. That's 13 points in it. I'm sure Waterford didn't expect to have it this easy. Now that kick out by Kane, who's just come on, the Tyrone goalkeeper from Galway, has not reached the intended target. Although the linesperson has given the decision for Tyrone, so they'll gratefully accept that. And Niamh Hughes sets off on a run. She goes past 1, she goes past 2, she leaves it off to Gallagher. This is better from Tyrone, but look at the pressure coming in again. The referee is playing advantage. Now where is she going to go with this, Gallagher? She needs support, or will the referee bring it back? And actually he awards a free for another challenge. So 2 fouls in there. The second one is penalised, and Waterford working really, really hard to stop Tyrone running at them. But a few signs of a Tyrone revival. Niamh O'Neill, 5 points in the first half, and Tyrone just haven't scored enough from the rest of the players. We saw Grania Rafferty kick one, but that was an isolated example. O'Neill could put those ones over in her sleep right in front of the goals. 3-11 to 8, 12 points in it. Rosie Landers from the Ballyduff Upper Club. The kickouts have generally been very impressive, and there is an impressive one again, finding her players expertly despite Tyrone players getting very close to it. This is Milani. She'll give it to her captain. And look at the space in behind already. It's so difficult for Tyrone in the heat and against such a fast team like this. And look at the support off the shoulder from Aileen Wall. That's brilliant work. In the end, it was really well blocked down by Tyrone. I think it was McLaughlin in there, but the kick comes in the end and drops just over the bar. Waterford really are on form today. That's a super score by Chloe Fennell. And you'll see it again. They persisted and kept going at the Tyrone defence and got profit in the end. 3-12 to 8 points. That's 21 plays 8, 13 points in it, and time running out for Tyrone. The kick out from Kane goes straight to Emma Murray. Into Wall. Comes wide to Fennell. That's a nice ball to the captain, Mairead Wall. And Mairead gives it back to Fennell, and Fennell goes for the low effort, but it's well saved by the goalkeeper Laura Kane, who has come into the play in the last 5 minutes, preventing a 4th goal. Really good play by Waterford, and good goalkeeping as well by Kane. But Waterford still on the attack. Tyrone not off the hook yet. Katie Murray to Aoife Murray. And Aoife now shoots right-footed, just to the right and wide. Tyrone in a lot of bother and rolling on the subs to try and change things. 22, Aoife McConnell from Glenelly coming in. And she replaces Christiane Hunter from the Oma St. Dennis Club. You have to remember, of course, when you're balancing this up, that Tyrone had to make 6 changes before the game. Waterford did not have to make any, so Tyrone severely disrupted by hamstring injuries and other situations. But this is good work by Emma Mulgrew, trying to burst out of defence, and she draws a free. Referee makes a note of the person who fouled. Holds up the Tyrone play, more importantly, for Waterford. Suits them. Emma Jane Gervin. She's going for the Route 1 approach and gets it to Niamh O'Neill. Her marker slipped in there, so a little bit of room on. She's going for goal because she's trying to thread it through, but the Waterford defenders got back there. They're too cute for that, and they've had too much energy in this game despite the heat. They've kept going really, really well. And there's a lovely accurate ball as well into Aileen Wall, and she really is a handful. And look at the space opening up now for Waterford, and it's Murray. She's had 2 goals already. Oh, I thought she was going to maybe get her hat-trick. It goes over the bar, but Waterford slicing through the Tyrone defence at will and finding lots of gaps, understandably, in this heat. Tyrone 18, Grania McKenna from St. McCartan's is coming into the play, and 22 for Waterford is in as well. That is Shauna Dunphy from the same club as the Murrays. And it's number 11 coming off for Waterford. That's Kate McGrath. And for Tyrone, it's the, or is it 13 coming off? Sorry, it's Emer Fennell coming off for Waterford, and the Tyrone player coming off is their centre half-back, Caitlin Kelly. Now, Tyrone have had issues with their own kick-out, trying to find even a 50-50. Waterford have been so sharp in them. Sharp again there with McGrath, but McHugh holds her ground and gets possession. Support coming in from Midlothian, but she's fouled as well. And I would imagine Tyrone are a little bit frustrated about this because Waterford have been fouling them around that sort of area and stopping the play, and I'm sure it's frustrating for them. They just can't get anything going. Here comes Murray, or Midlothian, to try again. And there's a punted ball into the full forward line where there's only one Tyrone forward up against 3 or 4 Waterford players. And look at that for tackling as well from Laura Mulcahy. Tyrone managed to hold possession, and the shot comes in from O'Neill, and it comes off the crossbar, but there's nobody there to profit except Kate McGrath of Waterford back there, and gets it to Milani, and Waterford clear the danger. Nothing happening right for Tyrone today at all, and now they have trouble on the break because Waterford is speeding forward again, and they have options left and right. And it's Chloe Fennell. Will she go for goal again? They've got in behind again. This could be another goal, or it could be a penalty, or it could be a free out. The referee has actually given the latter of those. It's a free out. So Tyrone escape. I wonder will that lift them a little bit. Here's Mulgrew. We're in the 49th minute. Tyrone need something very dramatic, very quickly. Chloe McCaffrey is the sort of player who can provide that. That's a dangerous looking one, and it could end up in the net. No, it's well read by Landers. I thought O'Neill was going to get a hand to it or get the ball in behind, but it didn't work. So Tyrone have been resorting to the long ball into the full forward line the last 4 or 5 minutes, and they nearly profited there. 3:13 plays, 8 points, 49 minutes played. Waterford very much in control. And Tyrone trying to commit players forward, but then they leave gaps at the back, and it's 22 against 22, and the low shot comes in, well saved by Kane, but a free will be given. The effort there by number 22 Shauna Dunphy, but blocked by the Tyrone 22 Aoife McConnell. Shauna's come out of that with a bit of a limp. Waterford also bringing in Niamh Power, number 21 from Stradbally. And she comes on for Aileen Wall. Another point for Waterford. Big score from them today. 3-14 to just 8 points for Tyrone. And after 15 minutes it was level, I think, or more or less. It was 5-4 at the water break, I think. And it was Waterford just sneaked ahead, so they have really kicked on since then. What can Tyrone do? They're going out of the senior championship. As it stands, they'll have a relegation battle, but they're not going to be playing Cork. It'll be Waterford playing Cork unless something very, very dramatic happens. Tyrone trying to get in behind. Gervin is there, but she's crowded out, as is O'Neill, but she still manages to get a kick away and gets it over the bar for a point for Tyrone. But you have to admire the defending from Waterford. So many players back there. Now we have a water break, which gives me a chance just to count how many Waterford players were back there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 and the goalkeeper were back there behind the ball. And when you look at the fact that they were so far ahead in this game, that they still have that work rate and desire to get back there and to keep Tyrone out. Very, very difficult for Tyrone. They will be glad to get a little bit of water and a little bit of respite, but they really could do with some new ideas as well. And it's difficult to do that at this time in the game because Waterford seem to have the game wrapped up. Waterford having some water. And Tyrone looking for some inspiration to provide something very, very dramatic at the end of this game. Kevin McChrystal, the manager, in the middle there. 52 minutes, water break a little bit later than usual. Not sure what Kevin can say at this stage when they're that far behind. 14 points in it. He's made quite a few changes. Tactically, though, Waterford seem to have it wrapped up. They're so much sharper. Their work rate is really good, getting behind the ball, and they break at speed. The Murrays and the Fennels and the Walls, so good at breaking, and that is what has allowed them to cut through Tyrone almost at will. Kieran Curran from Dungarvan, the manager of Waterford. And Port Larga definitely heading for a TG4 All-Ireland Senior Championship quarter-final with Cork. And what a battle that will be. And the word there for Waterford, obviously, just keep it going. Don't slack. You're not there yet. Don't let up, because games can change quickly. Don't think this one will change, but they still have to be alert. We will restart with the Waterford goalkeeper, Rosie Landers. And we're now in the 54th minute. I'd imagine we'll go on to about 63, so say 10 minutes. Rosie Landers now. Bit of movement there by the Waterford 19, Laura Cusick from Stradbally, who has come onto the field, and she picked that up very easily. Tyrone obviously exhausted in this heat, and they can't go chasing everything, but Niamh Woods is quickest to this ball. She's read that well. Gives it to Mulgrew. McHugh from Ahiarn, Gervin. And McHugh's trying to help her off the shoulder, but she goes the other direction. Gets it to McKenna. This is good work. I think that's Byrne over there, Sasha Byrne. This is good from Tyrone, but intercepted brilliantly there by Kate McGrath. Now there is a free awarded, but look at the work rate from the centre half forward getting back there to get a hand in. Niamh O'Neill is in a little bit of a hurry.
14.
Free here would put Tyrone into double figures. Might drop short, does drop short, but could end up in the net. Oh, it looked like it might end up in the net from number 15, McCaffrey. She claims it went over the line, but the referee has already awarded a free out, and he's going in just to make sure, with a word with his umpire, to make sure there was nothing amiss and that he did judge that correctly. And yes, he's given the free out. 3:14 to 9. And if it did go over the line, it was disallowed, or is it a square ball? I think that signal means. Either way, it's no score. Waterford are sending in another Ballymacarbery player. It's Breed McMaw, number 17. And they're also lining up Cara McCarty from Abbeyside. She's number 20. Roisin Tobin is coming off.
Out here, Laura, out. Give her back to her.
The referee has penalised Karen McGrath. Tyrone want to take it quickly, and because they were held up illegally, the referee has brought the ball over to the middle and is giving them a free right in front of the posts. O'Neill again in a hurry to take it. She might fancy a chance at a goal, but don't think that's going to be allowed. Now what's happening? Oh, he's actually giving it back to the goalkeeper. Not quite sure what happened there, but it's ended up in a Waterford ball. Tyrone just can't get a break up there for a moment. They maybe thought they might sneak a penalty, and a moment ago they thought they might have had the ball over the line, but just not happening for Tyrone at all today. Emma Murray doing well to hold possession and to pass it on. This is Rebecca Casey. She had a super first half. Gets it into the substitute Dunphy. Good battling there in the Tyrone defence. Is that Mulgrew possibly back there? And they get up the pitch as far as Byrne. The substitute has looked lively and does well here. Gives it off to Gallagher. Gallagher has two players in close attention, but speeds off. She's got a great turn of pace and runs into two more. She took on about 5 Waterford players there on her own and drew a free as well in the end. So it'll be a free for O'Neill to take. And that's been the pattern when Tyrone have run at Waterford. They've generally got a free, but I think they prefer to be able to try and get through, but Waterford standing firm in there.
Aoife!
Karen McCarty is now on for Waterford. Kick comes in from O'Neill. It's high and it's got the distance this time. Tyrone in double figures.
She's here, lads.
It's Aoife Murray coming off for Waterford.
Great work.
No real signs of a Tyrone comeback. Still a long way behind, and so difficult, as I said before, in these conditions. They are a long way off. 13 points. Great performance by Waterford, you have to say.
Break. Push
Karen
down,
McGrath.
Push down, Neil. Push down.
Lets the ball do the work, gives it to her captain, who gives it to Emma Murray. Let the young ones do the running. And she speeds off, they can't get near her. She looks for a little bit of support. She's still going. Contrast that with the other end, where Tyrone have so much attention from the Waterford defenders. She was able to go untouched there for quite a while. In the end, her sister kicks it over the bar. A lot more room at that end, it would seem. And Katie Murray profits. And that makes it 3:15 to 10. And although one sister has gone off, two of the other triplets are still doing damage. Laura Kane with the kick out. Does well to get it to Mulgrew. This is better from Tyrone, but where will he get to? Gallagher gets it now. Turns and moves, puts a super ball into O'Neill, and she moves it quickly. That's great football to Grania Rafferty. Can Tyrone get in? But already the Waterford players getting back there, despite Tyrone moving the ball quickly. In the end, Rafferty does get her point. Good score from Rafferty, much better from Tyrone, but too little, too late. On her right foot, that's her second point from play in the game. Makes it 3-15 to 11 points. Landers changes her mind at the last minute and goes short to Karen McGrath.
Come on, Laura, let's have you, Laura.
Laura Cusick is number 19 who's come in. This is Bridge McMaw. Maria Wall, the captain, switches onto her left foot and pops a nice little ball in there to Shauna Dunphy. And off goes Dunphy. She gives it to Cara McCarty, all the subs combining. Shot comes in from Murray, and there's a chance of a goal here, and it's smashed across the goals by Niamh Power and harmlessly wide in the end. But Waterford still looking for another goal as we go deep into injury time. Frustrating day for the Tyrone manager. Everything seemed to be going well after 15 minutes at 4 points each. Since then, Tyrone have scored 7 and Waterford have scored 3-8. And they could have got another couple of goals, it has to be said. Gervin now for Tyrone. Not giving up, gets it to McHugh. The midfielders still putting in a good shift out there. Sasha Byrne, one of the Tyrone subs, goes down, plays on, leaves it off. And the support coming up now from Mulgrew, who wasn't able to start the game but has come on and has done well. Nice little turn of pace as usual from Gallagher, and draws yet another free.
No quick one.
This is Chloe McCaffrey, just inside the 45. Looking for somebody around the goal area to pounce on that, but it's easy for Waterford to collect and hit Tyrone yet again on the break. They're so clinical on the break and so tough for Tyrone in these conditions to get back. McLaughlin, the captain, is getting back, but Waterford come in waves. It's Emma Murray. It's Chloe Fennell. So much room as well. It's easy out there for these Waterford forwards, and the shot comes in off the left foot of McCarty and it goes wide. We're nearly in the 64th minute. Kick out from Kane was aimed at Gallagher, but Murray is over there. And Murray's well known for having Duracell batteries or something like that, because they just keep going and keep going, they never stop. And Waterford have another chance of a score, and that is popped over the bar, and that may be the closing score, and it comes from the number 2 all the way up there, Megan Dunford, 2017 All-Star nominee from Abbey's side, gets to get in on the act. 3-16 to 11. Grania Rafferty for Tyrone. Tries to get past 1, tries to get past 2. Keeps going. Murray comes over to meet her, but the long ball doesn't reach the target. In fact, it's 2 Waterford players who get there first. Tyrone have tried to mix up their tactics, but there's no way round Waterford. Katie Murray, the full forward, all the way back there, and plays a nice ball in as well to Parr, who hasn't been able to keep it in. But the Murrays, you have to say, are lovely footballers. They really are. .64.5 minutes. This is Gervin for Tyrone. Will there be one last flurry from the O'Neill county? Niamh Hughes darts one way and then the other. But there's Waterford players everywhere. They're trying to get in behind, but a free has been awarded, and I think it's actually been given to Waterford. Very impressive performance by the Monaghan girls. Play goes on in the 66th minute of the game. Dunford again, maybe fancying another score, but she leaves it off this time to Emma Murray. And Emma Murray fights through a few tackles, and the referee will bring that back. But I think Murray was on her way there and didn't want to be pulled back, but she has to come back. McCaffrey has been penalised, and it is a free to be taken by Chloe Fennell. That one's going to the right and has been kept in and has been won by the Tyrone 17, Joanne Barrett from Drumrah. Although she's wearing 17, she didn't come on, she's played the whole game. Tyrone now looking for McCaffrey, but that's easily collected by Dunford. Crossfield pass could be in bother, but Murray gets there, wins it, calms it all down. Casey decides to come back to Laura Cusick, that's 19. We're in the 67th minute. Murray playing with Tyrone late in the game. That's cruel in these conditions, but they come yet again. Chloe Fennell looking for another score. It's Breege McMaw trying to get through there, and the referee signals that he will bring that back if he needs to. Oh, and she's away again, but now he's going to bring it back, and she would have loved to go through there to pop a little score over, but it's going to be a free instead as we go into the 68th minute. I feel for these girls out in that heat. And there you see the Waterford subs. Well, quite a few have been on the field and are now there having a nice rest, enjoying the sun and enjoying this performance. It's a punishing day for the players, but Waterford won't mind. 68th minute, and that one goes to the right and it goes wide. Referee looks at his watch as Laura Kane prepares to take the kick out. She goes short, and still we play on. Emma Jane Gervin speeding along as if it was the first minute of the game, driving Tyrone forward, throwing a few dummies, feeding the ball on. That super play by Gervin. Gallagher's there now. And they move it on. This is super play actually by Tyrone, but in the end they just run into traffic again, and Waterford come away with it in the 69th minute of the game. Maria Wall does well to get it to Kate McGrath. Katie Murray is out in front as usual and spins away to look to see if she can get another score. She scored 2 goals already. I wonder if she could goal in her mind again. Well, maybe she did, but she overcarried. Referee has another look at the watch as Niamh Hughes picks the ball up just down in front of us here. And Niamh gets past her marker, that's McMaw, and is still going. Will she fancy a little effort at goal right at the end? She leaves it off to Dervla Gallagher, and she's trying to get on her right foot there, and really good tackling back there, but the referee I think is going to give a free. The challenge from Laura Mulcahy from Ballymacarbery. O'Neill in a hurry to get the ball. We're in the 70th minute of this game. 3:16 to 11. Niamh O'Neill, I fancy, will drive this low She may as well. Well, I think she was maybe going low, but it went off the top of her boot and went over the bar, and it ends with a point for Tyrone. But this has been Waterford's day. The two managers come together to have a little, not a handshake of course, but a little fist touch. It's ended in victory for Waterford by 3-16 to 12 points. Waterford pulled away after the first quarter, and it's they who will play in the TG4 All-Ireland Senior Championship quarter-finals against Cork in the 2021 Championship, which seems to have crept up on us all of a sudden, and we're now at the quarter-final stage, and it's Waterford who go through, and Tyrone will go into a relegation battle. It's been a hot day here in St. Lomans in Mullingar. It's been an impressive day by Waterford. It's been a disappointing day for the Tyrone manager, Kevin McChrystal. It just didn't happen for them after the first water break, but Waterford, so impressive. And there we see Kellyanne Hogan out there. So unfortunate that she broke her leg a couple of weeks ago in a challenge match, but look, you can see there what she means to the panel. They wanted her here, they wanted her togged out, and they wanted her part of this team. There's a good unity in the panel, and they might give Cork a little bit of bother in the quarterfinals, judging by this performance. Very, very impressive from Waterford. And that's it from St. Lomans in Mullingar. I hope you have enjoyed the coverage. From us all, it's goodbye.